And hello to all my Virgo friends, I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for September 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Virgos a storyline spread. It's going to be a special storyline spread though because they want to talk about finance. It is a specific corner storyline spread that talks all about money, Virgo. They want to talk about it in a big way that they devoted your entire monthly spread to talk about it. So we got storyline spread breaking us up into multiple stories. It is like a scatter shot across the entire sign of Virgo. Allows me to be very accurate because we're telling 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 different stories about finance for different Virgos going through different things. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Hopefully we're bringing lots of good money into you. Maybe one of you with the lottery or something like that. I did have a dream one time. This is a true story where I dreamt of a bunch of numbers and I played them in the lottery and 3 of them hit actually. So I got like, I don't know, $15 or something like that. So Spirit wanted to buy me lunch or dinner. Anyway, we're going to get moving with your reading, guys. I just want to tell you about all the new stuff that is coming in this reading. I had to make a list just so I could remember it all. We got your extra reading, first of all, that is coming. Spirit wants me to do a health scrub for you guys. Now that is basically a spiritual, physical body, more than spiritual, physical body breakdown. 1 through 7 of your different physical body regions. See what is kicking good, what we can get Virgos kicking better with. Also going to be concluding your reading with the Rune Stone. That'll tie a nice little bow around this project we call September. This project that we all love because it's Virgo season. Doing your extra spread there. Going to conclude your reading, of course. Well, we're also doing moon cycles. I never leave out the moon cycles to get you guys covered by that. Tell you about a new product in the shop, as well as something I call homily, which is a little spiritual pep talk to get you going through your month of September in strength, feeling empowered. Let's get started with your reading, guys. Lots of stuff to do. No time to waste. We got to get moving. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a whole bunch of time. Now I'm going to bring you in the overhead so you can watch. I like to share my table with you. And we are on and recording. These are my ritual cuts, basically cutting each single deck into thirds and then back together goes in a separate order. And we're ready to go. It's just like you're here with me now. Same procedure for personal private readings. And the storyline spread, any of them, whether it be about finance, love, or in this case it's finance, but even the regular storyline spreads, they all start with 5 cards. So these are your first base 5 cards, Virgo, and arguably the most important. This deck they wanted to use for you, I call it my bird deck. There's a lot of birds in this deck, even though they're not showing up right now. And this is actually a very good deck for storyline spreads because the facings are usually pretty direct. We're still going, though. I've not reached my end from Spirit yet. Still not. Well, maybe that one. Yeah, that is looking back inward. So that is going to be my stop right there, and I know that because this owl is facing back this way, even though it's a little bit of a slant, so Spirit is bracking us off like this. Still in view. You can see it. Very good. Now I need to get my pairings together. We do have quite a bit inverted, too. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 7. That's not enough to do a discard yet, but we're going to see once we break the stories apart. This wants to go here, there. This is all big, one big story, long story short. No pun intended. And then over here, we got a standalone there. This is a very, very short little blurb here for somebody. So let's see what that's all about, shall we? Need more cards. Need a card here, actually 2, for a Major Arcana Judgment card. It's going to go like that. And if I get off the screen a little bit, Virgo, don't worry. I'll move the camera around so you guys can see everything. This card just getting 1. It's a pip. So small, short, sweet story there. It's actually going to be story 1. I'm going to make that first. Get you guys that one moving. And then over here, we got a king. I need to do a card on that, see if it's about a person. They say no, but that energy still stays. And we're good to go with that one. So now I just need an Oracle Angel card for every story. We're working with 3 stories, financial stories, Virgos. And there we go. And then over here, and then just showing you on the camera. And I did separate my chapters. I've redone my chapters in my video. So if you want to skip this section of the reading, you can always do that now. It shows you in the timestamp how to get to any section of your reading, actually. So there again is story 1. Story 2 is going to be the big one. In fact, I'm going to make this story 3. We're going to do this one last because there's a lot of moving parts. I want to make sure I get it. It's due diligence, and they're talking about soulmates there. Of course, that's relevant to a lot of people. And then this is going to be actually story 2 here. Ending with the tribe on top. Here we got a king, 8 of cups, 7 of wands. All right, let's do it. And just so I remember, I'm going to move the cards very carefully so the order doesn't shift or change around on me. Now I remember to do that one last. All right, so here we go, Virgo. I'm with you here on the finance. Virgo as well here. Let's see what we got. First story, just the little blurb. The little blurb, such a cute little story. The first thing I want to talk about is maturity and also children. Two different sides of this card. Now, let me tell you, since it is a general reading, I'm going to give you both. I try to cover as much ground as I can in a general reading. Of course, if you're looking for private personal messages that are specific only to you, there is no Virgo bubble energy in my personal private readings. Those are available on my website, scottsagent.com. A whole bunch of different variety of readings from small all the way up to full service. Got something for everybody there. So make sure you check that out, guys. Highly encourage you to do so. The first thing we're starting with is maturity. So financial maturity. Hey, you've grown to a point where you're not making the silly mistakes anymore. If that sounds like you, that you could very well be with me here in story 1. The other part of this card is about children, and it's about not spending money on the children in September. It's like, no, it's coming in on a block. Either the money's going to be spent later, or the things that you need to spend money on or are thinking about spending money on for the kids, it's just not good to do it now. Maybe October, but not now, guys. But for most of you, I do feel like it is going to be the mature kind of development of where you come financially, the lessons you've learned, and of course the wisdom that you have accrued over your Virgo lives. The next thing they show here is two entities, two people, two entities, to something working together. Very good family vibe going on here. So the money is very good between these two. Hopefully one of them is you and somebody else, or it's just showing the teamwork basically going on financially, and it's coming in a very good joy card. It's actually the second greatest card in the tarot deck, just behind the sun, in my opinion. So good story for number 1, and they're reminding you how blessed you are, Virgo, how blessed you are. So be grateful. You know, grateful is a very strong vibration. It's gratitude, you know, it's a big deal. So you're very blessed, and let's keep it that way, shall we? There we go, Virgo 1. Virgo story 2, we're going to come down here. First thing we want to talk about is my king, which they said not the person, though. This is a very strong authority with your love corner. So spending money with the family, things that I feel have been coming apart, okay? You're putting money into things that are breaking and things that you necessarily, like, you actually have to do. It's more of a necessity than a joy or a pleasure. You're putting money into, like, the washer or the dryer, the dishwashing machine, AC, different things for different people, of course, but it feels like you're doing something for the family that is more have to do than want to do. So that's where we start. So keeping that in mind and being authoritative with that, they show next is that there's a defensive kind of situation going on here, so they don't want you to do more than what's necessary. That's what I feel like. They're just basically saying, hey, be a little guarded here. Maybe if you're getting some work done to something, if you're like, let's say you're getting a new roof put on your house, get some estimates here. Make sure you're being defensive about who's doing the work here. You know, make sure you're getting a good quote. Nobody that's going to, like, you know, cheat you on the deal, so to speak. So be very defensive about this, but it's coming in just fine to do all this stuff. And the last thing we show here is, well, first of all, the tribe. You can't get away from the tribe. That is your group. That is your family, your close friends, your social group, your family, friends, anybody close to your heart, basically the tribe, your people, and the home environment where this tribe is. So all that stuff makes me feel like everything that we just talked about is correct. The last thing that we have, this last moving part for story 2, financially, is about really kind of in it to win it. A lot of you are kind of deciding that, you know, you've had an option to move past something, maybe sell a house, move, get rid of an old car, something like that. And you guys have decided, nope, we're in it to win it. We're putting our feet in the sand. We're drawing the line in the sand. We're putting boundaries up. We're deciding that we're going to stick with this. Maybe for some of you, it is the relationship itself. But in a financial spread, I feel like they're more kind of like just committing to something financially. That you guys are just, you know, you've decided you're going to start saving blank amount of money every month, or, you know, working on some kind of goal, all kinds of good stuff there. So in it to win it is coming up there in story 2. Now, before I get into your story 3, financial, I do want to cut away. This is your big story. I want to tell you about the moon cycles because I'm doing a very special segment here for your moon cycles, since it has been a little while since I've done your standalone reading. So I want to make sure I do something special for you guys. So check that out, and we're going to come right back with story 3. Okay, guys, it is moon cycle forecast time, and the moons for September are starting to calm down. September, October, through the rest of 2023, the moon cycles are a little bit more solemn. However, you can still use this energy, the full and the new moon, to implement positive change into your life, because after all, the moon does have a gravitational lock on this planet of ours, and it's strong enough to pull the water of Earth towards space. The water bulges, and that's what the tides do, moving in and out. And after all, aren't we mostly water as well? You think it has an effect on us? Absolutely it does. So here's what's going on. Linear speaking, the first thing that hits as we enter September, we're still dealing with full moon energy from August. Now, this is the best time to get stuff out of your life. I want to focus more on the full moon later in the month, but as we enter the month early, that's when most people are checking out these videos. So I'm letting you know that right now, it's a good time to break habits, a good time to get stuff out of your life. People wrap up projects, anything that's got to go. That is the energy of the full moon here early in September. Now, I want to focus on the new moon because new moon September 14th, this is going to be significant just because I got something special to share about the new moon. I stumbled upon this a few months ago and I was waiting for the right time to do it. And this is the moon cycle where I'm going to share it. This is from a very gnostic text. I forget which one it was. It might have been the book of Adam and Eve, one of these books that was held back from the Bible, from the Pope. And very interesting things because all these events happen during the new moon. This goes back to the flood story, which is not just in biblical texts, but it's in a bunch of different religious texts. New moon, that was when Noah was commanded to make the ark. Happened on a new moon. And he entered in the ark, also on a new moon. New moon is when the water stopped. Of course, these are not sequential new moons. It's not just one after another, but these events happened under a new moon. Here's another one. The tops of the mountains were first seen under a new moon. The earth, like the bottom, the lower levels of the earth, became visible from the floods going down under a new moon. And finally, Noah went forth from the ark under, you guessed it, a new moon. So you think new moon's relevant? Or what else are they trying to tell us in that book? I would say it's quite important. So the new moon, best time to bring things into your life. Start something new. Start a new diet. Go for a new job. Try to get something new going in the work corner. Something new in the love corner. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're trying to implement into your life, the new moon brings in the manifest. So it's the best time to pray. If you're a prayer, or if you like to just manifest things with just meditation or whatever it is that you do, this is the best time, middle of the month, guys. And we get back into that full moon energy, like I told you, late in September. This is the key for getting things out. I know we talked about it being early in the month, but it happens stronger for September late. In fact, it's the 29th. So the very last few days of September are incredibly strong for getting things out of your life. Something you got to sell, repurpose, finish up an old project, kick somebody out of your life, kick a bad habit. Doesn't matter what it is. That is full moon energy, guys. Use that to your benefit. And I also have a moon cycle cheat sheet that I always put on my website for you. It's there for free every single month. It's on my talking about page, stuff that I'm talking about. You can scroll down and see that moon cycle guide. It's a little visual aid just to help you understand how these energies move in and out. While you're there, make sure you're signed up for the newsletter as well. Give my newsletter people a couple great things every single year, usually in the terms of free readings and also great promo codes. It's just one email that I send out every single month, so that is a no-brainer. Follow the Facebook page as well. That's for contests and giveaways, all kinds of great stuff on the channel. And before I let you go, I want to tell you about the brand new service on the website. It is called Pet Connect. By popular demand, people wanting to check in on their pets, see how they're doing. A little bit of profound stuff can be had in this way. I made this product very, very affordable. I want to make it super friendly so that anybody can check this out. I know I get asked all the time about pets. Are they in heaven? Can we check in on them? All this kind of stuff. Is it even possible? The short answer is yes. It is a complicated situation, but it can be done, and to the point where I've made a product to just deliver that service to my great clients. And that is available, scottsagent.com, launching on Labor Day, guys. Labor Day is the day for that. And when you see that launch on there will be a video that goes with it that talks all about it, shows you the ins and outs and how it works. So check that out as well. The gemstones in the shop are still buy one, get one with the free charm. Any gemstone purchase in the shop will come with the free charm as well as a free little bag. It's kind of like a buy one, get three items for free, and that is running through the end of the year, so that's worth checking out as well, guys. Let's get back to your reading. Okay, Virgo, I am back with story 3, and I did just notice that I'd never told you that all the cards were okay. We didn't need to do any discards when I did the card work. We have enough blockages with the reverts, the cards that are facing the right way, so we don't have to mess with any of that stuff. Anyway, just notice that I didn't tell you that. So story 3, the first thing we start with here is very easy work, easy money coming in. Very good start here for Virgo 3. Now, how do you know if that's you? I guess maybe you're experiencing this already. Maybe it's a carryover from August. We got good financial juju going on here. It's a good way to start. Now, there is something in here, though. that doesn't go your way. This is some kind of heartbreak card, and of course it's a weird kind of heartbreak. It's hard to pinpoint, but in a financial spread, it just feels like something that is just like, oh, that hurt. Didn't expect to pay for that. It's just like, this is a very small version of it, but I just had the camera I'm recording on, the battery's been pooping out for like the last few times I've been recording. And now it's to the point where it's like almost band-aided patchwork together, where I have to charge it after every reading I record just to keep the battery going to do the next one. So it's just like, I didn't expect to pay for a brand new camera right now, So that is kind of the energy of what's going on. Now, so it does hurt you a little bit there. Now, the next thing they do show is home environment on a block. So there is money that maybe needs to be put into the home, money saved for the home for some kind of goal, maybe something to do with what we talked about earlier there in story 2, something like that. But the home is coming in upside down, so the home environment needs the attention, needs the money, energy right now in September. We wrap up with a decision being made. A lot of Virgos are making major decisions with your loved ones. They did tell me soulmates, so I feel like a lot of you are kind of deciding things together in September very strongly. And of course, if you do not have a significant other, let's say you're single, it doesn't mean it's not necessarily about you, but Spirit is kind of encapsulating, they're noticing that the story that this happens to be about, it's about a lot of couples. It doesn't mean it's 100% couples, but you get the idea. So anyway, we have the Judgment card coming in, making decisions, making major decisions. If you have a major decision that needs to be made, Virgo, financially, you got to do it. You got to do it like yesterday. You got to get it done. Now, here's what they show next. They show that this is going to, they show injury kind of being fixed here. So maybe some of you have been hurt, whether it's a metaphor for like you've been hurt financially, you've been really kind of beaten up financially, and now it's starting to get better. Or maybe some of you have actually been hurt, maybe actually hurt yourself, and now you're starting to recover from that. And of course, that's going to, maybe you put a lot of money into certain things, medical treatments or something like that. Now, they show the Death card coming up here attached to this decision that gets made. So they're letting you know here that this decision has to do a lot with renewal. This is doing something completely renewed, doing something over where there is no carryover from the past at all. This is 100% clean slate, brand new, so there can be no tie over from the past. If this is something like, hey, I'm going to sell my hobby collection. This is like you sell it all. This is not like, well, I sell, 3 boxes of old stuff from the garage, but I'm just going to keep one for sentimental value. Spirit here is saying, no, it's just not good energy to do that. Of course, keeping one box is not going to ruin anybody's life, but Spirit is saying here energetically, you're just better to get rid of the whole thing. You're ready to start over. And that's what they show here, that you're doing with somebody else. So there is your storyline. Now, we are jumping around to a lot of different things here. So now we're getting into the extra section of your reading. But the first thing I want to do is grab a Rune Stone, because I want to be looking at the cards when I do this. So they're already mixed up. I'm going to give them one more swirl and then we're ready to go. Rune Stone for Virgo is going to be this one right here. And this is an interesting one because this is the rune of disruption. So it's kind of the hurricane energy as far as rune stones are concerned. So we have disruption coming in here. It's a shake-up. Shake-up, break-up, make-up. Okay, so there is some turbulence in September financially that occurs, and it's happening for a reason, Virgo. It is so that you can do this renewed completely over, like lava coming and sweeping over the landscape and killing everything off so it can grow new growth. This is your new growth. Financially, there is a purging disruption going on where they're going to give you an opportunity to do really great things. And remember that in story 3, they talked about completely doing it all over. In story 1, remember that the disruption is very much learning from your mistakes and trying to avoid the disruption by being thankful for what you got, the good stuff you got there. And maybe the kids are a disruptive force there. Maybe money needs to be going into the kids and it's just like, oh, it's a bad time, something like that. And then disruption in story 2 is very much about being defensive here. And the situation that you don't want to deal with it to begin with, that is a disruption all on its own. So you can see disruption through the different stories there. Now let's get into your chemistry tracking. Chemistry tracking is a brand new one I'm doing here. And I do the card work ahead of time to save us a bunch of time here, guys. But basically I'm just talking about the list I already did all the card work for Virgo. Now, interestingly enough, I like to give Spirit an out. So in case they don't want to talk about one, I give them a chance to do that. And that's what happened for week. So whatever Virgo is connecting week to in the month of September, Spirit basically said, hey, it's not important. We don't need to talk about it. Maybe they thought we'd overanalyze it. How dare they? Because we are overanalyzers. You know what I'm talking about. So they didn't want to talk about anything there for weak, but they did give us one for strong. They're letting you Virgos know that you are very strongly connected to Leo. Leo in the month of September. Very strong energy between Leo and Virgo, especially from you to them, okay? Now, interestingly enough, I believe it was the only sign that did it, but Leo got the same thing. Leo got Virgo. So it's Leo and Virgo back and forth. It's basically a double whammy of energy. Good, strong vibration there. So if you're a Virgo single, I would be on the lookout for Leos this month. If, let's say you're in a relationship, maybe it's not a Leo. Maybe it's just not relevant. Maybe that Leo for a strong energy would be, maybe your boss is a Leo. And maybe you guys will just be getting along really good. Or maybe a friend of yours is a Leo and you're going to have a great time in September. So anyway, you get the idea. So strong Leo. Weak, we don't know. So there we go. There is your chemistry tracking for the month of September. And of course, that'll likely change as we get into October. So now let's get into your extra spread, guys. This is the health spread, health scrub. Count how many cards I used. If I used more than 10, I did. So I'm going to reshuffle to be thorough. I'm going to cut away to do that so you don't get bored watching me shuffle. I'll be right back. Okay, Virgo, I am back with the health scrub. The cards have been reshuffled. I'm going to ritual cut it one final time. Into thirds it goes, back together it goes, and we're ready for some health scrub. Keep in mind the health scrub is available as a personalized product just to you in case this is not specific enough for you. You want more information, something that's all about you without all of your Virgo friends. That is available on scottsagent.com as well as the spiritual version of this. This, of course, is physical health, but I also have the chakra scrub, which is spiritual health. So here we go. I'm going to pull these 1 through 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I may talk about it in a separate order depending on what comes up. The inverts are a good distribution. We're going to leave that as it is. See if we have any people. Person card here. About a person. They say no. Person here. They say no. And then Oracle Angel cards for, excuse me, my majors. And we're ready to go, guys. Actually, quite a chatty group for a health scrub, I must say. I'm actually going to go bottom to top. We're going to start with number 7. We got 2 big ones at the top I want to end it with last. So number 7, this is root. It would be root if it was a chakra scrub. I kind of start there because as far as health goes, this is like base of the spine. It can be something spinal or your lower back. This can also be hips, sexual organs, kind of the lower area. You get the idea down here. They talk about learning from lessons, Virgo. Learning from lessons. Some of you are kind of like, You know better, but it's hard. Lessons repeat. Okay, so that's what they talk about down here for that one. Small, insignificant energy, I should say, compared to the rest. The rest are pretty big. But that one, it's going to make sense to certain people. Now, when we move up from there, now we get into number 6. Number 6 is kind of your lower digestion, intestinal stuff, all the way down to colon here. They show bad luck for certain Virgos, okay? So that's just letting you know that something here has just moved in a bad way. It doesn't mean that it's moved in a bad way like long term. Keep that in mind, that this may be just, hey, you know what? You ate something that didn't agree with you, and you just got a few days of indigestion in the month of September. Who knows how long it's going to take, but they want some of you to contemplate and to think more about this. They brought in my thinker card, so they're saying, hey, you got something like lower tummy area here, and you're listening to this reading. You need to pay attention to this, okay? So they want your basically eyeballs on it, awareness on it. May not be a big thing, but you know what? If you catch something early, it's almost always treatable. So it's worth throwing out there. When we move up from there, we get into number 5. This is upper stomach. This is more toxicity or purification organs and kind of just the upper stomach area, just anything below the heart. Long story short there, they show inauthority with work. So some of you here are, I feel like this is muscular. You'll just might hurt yourself or pull a muscle or hernia or I don't know. Hard to say. Now that what they show next though, that I guess will give me a better clue. This is my card of a lot of different choices and they're basically showing inverted that there is one way to go with this. So if some of you have been working too hard and your body's taking a toll from it, especially like your upper gut area here, or maybe, you're producing too much bile in your liver or some kind of something going on there that would meet this definition. What Spirit is telling you to do here is there's one way to get over this. Maybe the one way is quitting the job. Maybe the one way is, hey, you need to get on milk thistle. It's good for liver. Just a random thing thrown out there. I'm not sure what that is for certain people, but whatever this is, just keep in mind, if they're talking about you, that there is one way here, one solution, not, doing 2 different things or, doing weird, anyway, one thing. When we move up now, we get into 4. This is heart and lungs area. They show here is karma actually that is coming in pretty good. You're kind of on top of things and you've been rewarded. So you've either been rewarded with just good genes, you just got it going on up here, good, whether you do cardio, which is, I always tell people when this comes in as an issue here in a health scrub, cardio is great for your heart and your lungs. It does both. But they're not telling you here that this is an issue. Now, I do feel for some of you women that I'm hearing here that some of you are concerned about like breast area here, which is heart and lungs, kind of the same region. And if that's the case, they're letting you know that it's actually coming in pretty good. It doesn't mean like neglect it, stay on top of things, but it's coming in better than you think. Okay. Number 3, when we move up here, we get into kind of the throat, glandular, a little bit of dental too. And here they show inaction with something. So I don't know if they're saying that you are taking an inaction or if that is the advice. If you've been thinking about like, oh, should I get this root canal done in September? They'd be saying either you're just not going to do it, you're neglecting it, or they're saying if it's a choice, an actual choice, they would be maybe telling you no. Depends on what it is. Now what they show is that some of you here, this is kind of affecting you in, they bring in my hoarder card here, but it's not the hoarder that is in most of my other decks. This is a very weird kind of hanging on to something. So they're almost saying it's time to let something go here. It's kind of either time to open up the pocketbook and like pay for like the braces if you got to get that done, or some kind of procedure. It's actually saying it's an okay time to spend here. So the inaction makes me feel more like that's just what you've been doing. It's actually saying you got to okay from spirit here to get moving with whatever you got to do in this area. Moving up to the top, we got big themes at their top. Now, in your face, your head area here, which can be a bunch of different things from sinus, nose, hearing, all kinds of eyesight, this is coming in as weakness. So this is an area where you guys have been realizing some changes going on here, more than likely. And if that is you, what they want you to do is just a very quick solve, just do what makes you happy. Maybe some of you it's getting LASIK done. Maybe others of you are happy with just glasses. Maybe some of you need a hearing aid. Whatever makes you happy and will bring you happy and happiness and satisfaction, that is what Spirit's calling for you to do here. They're saying all you got to do is turn this around into a strength. Easy to take care of. And then when we get to the top one, number 1, this is the top of the head. Of course, there's nothing up here, you're not, unless you bump your head on something. So this is more about representative of something that is all over you, something like skin, hair, nails, nerves, muscles, bones. Here they show, it's my Chariot card, so they're talking about movement. And this is movement that really kind of needs to be more diverted on one way, and more than like, makes me feel like doing something's trying to go 2 different ways and it really needs to go one way. It makes me feel like maybe something hyperextended, maybe something more muscular there. For anybody that where you're going through something with health that the definition meets that this is something over your entire body. The advice here is that there is we need to bring it into one path here. We need to do one thing. Maybe 2 treatments or multiple treatments is not the way. We need to bring it into one. Got to get this on course. And they show you're trying to build something here too. So this is a work in progress. It is goals happening here with whatever they're referring to. So just keep working on it. Keep building what you're trying to do. Maybe it's just building immunity in your body in general. And if that's the case, I don't talk about it very often, but since they kind of brought it up, and I almost feel like they are talking about pills in there, some kind of something, supplement maybe like that is going on here. That I took about a year of my life, and I took like men's vitamins that are specifically for immunity. And just to kind of gauge, like, am I healthier this year? Or like, what actually happens from this? And the answer was no. The answer was got about sick just as much as I always do. So I really truly believe in vitamins and supplements, but at the same time, I don't believe in overwhelming your body with it all the time. I believe that it needs it when it needs it, and that's the time when you should deliver those things, but you don't want to get it used to it happening all the time, and it has a contrary kind of adverse effect. So there you go. There's your health scrub from top to bottom, actually bottom to top. And let's get into your homily, guys. This is the quick little spiritual pep talk that we're going to conclude your reading with and leave you feeling great in September. Okay, guys, it is time for your homily, September 2023. The very first homily ever is being recorded right now. You are a part of history, guys. So the topic that I want to talk to you about today is a realization that I had at a water park last month, of all places. That's what kind of inspired me to tell you this story and kind of make this part of your extended reading. And I took my daughter on a small mini vacation to South Florida. That's kind of where this whole thing started. Went to a water park. It was very small, but very nice, very pleasurable. It had a little kids section, a couple larger slides for more of the adults. The kids love that too. And a lazy river, which of course everybody likes. And you know what a lazy river is more than likely. And if you don't, it's just a small little stream that current pushes you around, mostly in inner tubes. So this is where my story takes place that I wanted to share with you guys. I was going down the lazy river, and it was a small course. It maybe took you about 10-15 minutes to go around the whole thing. And they had some good water squirts that would happen. You know, sometimes it was like a waterfall where you just got penetrated by water, just that was like free falling. Other times it was pressurized, like more of like a squirt gun and like a spray, and just different kind of textures and varieties that you'd pass through and go under. And it was very nice. And I'd been through it a couple times, and my good friend took my daughter to go on the big slide. She wanted to go on the big slide, so I was in the lazy river by myself, and I'd already been around the course a couple times by this point, so I knew the course pretty well, at least I thought I did. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to try something a little different here. I'm sitting on this inner tube, going down a nice little current in a course. I decided to close my eyes and see what changed when I did so. Now, everything changed. First of all, your senses heighten. When you're looking like this, you're blindfolded, you know, your hearing, especially there, hearing was what's heightened the most for me. I was hearing that water coming way ahead of time, and I was apprehensive. I didn't know when it was coming. I just knew that it was. And I didn't know if I was going to be pushed into it or if I was going to be pushed around it, because there's kind of different ways you could go. And it just changes things when you don't see it. When you cannot see what's coming, it changes the way that your body reacts to it. It's just almost like a chemical reaction. You don't have a choice in the matter. It's just the way that it is. And it wasn't scary, but I could see for some people that it could be. And the only reason it wasn't scary is because I knew I was safe. If I was doing that like in an actual river, I would be a little scared, because I'd be wondering if that noise I'm hearing is actually like a waterfall or like a pretty big drop, or, you know, something dangerous was going to happen to me. Of course, it was a controlled environment, so it wasn't scary, but you still had the stress. You still had the apprehension and the nerves very heightened. So the realization that I ended up having, basically the moral of this whole story, is that it reminded me of people who do not seek any kind of spiritual progress with this, with their daily paths, their daily lives, tarot readings, a little bit of divination and forecasting, because that's what it does. It allows you to open your eyes to see the things that are coming. Most people are just driving blind. They're going through their entire lives like this. What I do, the ability to forecast and share my divination with you in this way, and with my personal private readings especially, you can look into all that stuff. You can see the things that are coming. You can plan and prepare a little bit for things. So it's not so scary. You don't have to be apprehensive about things. It gives you a calm, just knowing when things are coming and how you can align certain things to these occurrences that are in some ways going to come regardless. Sometimes you go around it. Sometimes you go through it. So that is your homily for September 23. Thank you so much for tuning into the readings. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have delivering it to you. I hope you have a great September. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.